just next content of the testing process is your black box testing, and I have also shared here the content with white box testing, because black box testing is whenever I am asking that it is coming, then similarly simultaneously white box testing is also going to come. As black box testing, already we had discussed in the first chapter also what testing rules we had with it. So here I have given a small definition of it. That is, it is a software testing method in which the internal structure or design or implementation of the item being tested is not known to the tester. Yes, in the black box testing, I don't know anything. Means if I am doing the testing like a black box, if I'm performing the testing with the help of black box testing tool, then I am not able to know what is happening or what is going to be there with the testing form. But in the white box testing, it is a software testing method in which the internal structure or design or implementation of the item being tested is known to the tester. Means everything is known to the tester, and also it is compulsorily known to the tester because all the code, whatever the coding part, whatever the designing part, whatever the integrating part, whatever the content we are having to follow in the testing is all shown to the tester, because and also it is mandatory that the testing the tester who is going to test that content or what is that product, that he is a well developer or and also well program having a knowledge of well programming knowledge in with him. So in white box testing it is mandatory, but in black box testing is not mandatory, and it is not known to the tester also what is going to be happen inside the testing tool. Yeah. So we had, I have given the means heading like this, the black box testing versus white box testing. So directly we'll move for the difference, which is always asked in your syllabus, Solapur University question paper also. So we'll go with that. Yes, that is what is black box and what is white box. We already know that in black box all is hidden, in white box all is open. Then it is mostly done by the software tester. It is also done, but not by tester, but by developer. As I told you, that developer is knowing the programming language, so he is well developed with the knowledge. Here, tester is only to doing the test. Yeah, so it is not mandatory. Is it visible to all? Shall I make it more again in a size? Is it visible? Is it visible to all? Shall I make it somewhat more clear? Anybody can reply me. Is it visible? Anybody can reply. Pratik Deshpande.
Yes, ma'am, visible.
Okay, thank you. So I had directly given the difference between both, and so directly you can get the idea what is black box and what is white box. And also it is no knowledge of implementation is needed. Yes, I had already, if it is done by software tester, he does not need any implementation knowledge. But in white box, the knowledge of implementation is required. Yeah. And again, the next point is that it can be referred as outer or external software testing. Yeah, it is outer or external software testing, you can refer it as. But white box, it is the inner or the internal software testing. Functional test of the softwares are performed here. Structural test means only functionally I can do the content, but here structurally overall I need to go with it. Then in the black box testing, the testing can be initiated on the basis of requirement specification document. And here it is, this type of testing starts with after the detailed design document. Means I can do only this type of testing after the total completion of my documentation also. But here black box I can start in the basic first, in the first phase also, or in the middle phase also. Okay, no knowledge of programming required in the black box. It is mandatory to have a knowledge in white box. And the behavior of the testing is the of the software. It here it is a logical. In white box testing it is logical. You need to know the content very well in white box testing. Next, it is applicable to the higher level Yes, it is applicable to the higher level of the testing, generally applicable to the lower level where we are making coding and designing part. It is also called the black box testing is also called a closed testing, while the white box is called as a clear box testing. Yes, clear box testing. And also it is least time consuming. It is most time consuming. The time consuming part in the black box is so less, while it is approximate opposite to the white box, not suitable for preferred algorithm testing. I am not using for algorithm testing. The black box testing is not going to be used, but white box testing can be used for your suitable algorithm. Yeah. Next part we had that can be done by trial and error way and methods. Can be done by trial and error. I can trial with it, but here the data domains along with inner or internal boundaries can be better tested. Here on trial basis, I am not going to do, but like inner and outer, whatever the internal boundaries we had decided for the testing, I can define the data to which to be get tested for white box testing. Okay. Now the next part, that is can first and the last one example I have given, that search something on Google by using a keyword. It is a black box testing because internally what is testing I don't know, but I can get the output. And here the example for white box is by input to check and verify loops. So that's why I need to go internally, and then I'm going to perform a key F7. I'm going to press, and then I'm going to trace everything and each content. So this is the examples, two different examples. Now I have given here the basic types of black box testing and types of white box testing. So types of black box testing, functional testing and non-functional testing. And while in the types of white box testing, we had path testing, again loop testing, then condition testing. Sorry, here one more remain, that is your regression testing. What we had with us, the old content also get replaced with the new one in the regression testing. And here in the white box testing, the three testing types are there: path testing, loop testing, and condition testing. So this is nothing but it is a basic concept I am going to just given to you what we had with us in our black box testing and white box testing. So before moving for the further point, just again once more I'm going to repeat that what is black box and what is white box. So generally just keep in mind, in black box I am not available, means I am not having a full idea what is happening inside. And but in white box I need to know each and everything. Like that, suppose I have given example like searching on a Google with a keyword, but what Google is doing inside it I don't know. Yes, but in white box I need to, if I am using or I'm checking a program with a code, and I supposed to get the output, that time I need to check each and every line of the code, each and every content, and that time I need to know the knowledge of my programming. Well, if I'm not able to judge where is the error, that time I'm not able to do this type of testing. So this is the type, and this is the difference. Make sure your which is more consuming, time consuming, and which is more delivering, having a flexible time. So black box testing requires less time, while white box having more time. I need to go with some structural testing levels here in the black box, but here in white box I need to think with the logical formation. Yes, again, if I am having some testing specification over there, I need to go with in a initiation phase or in a middle phase I can do the black box testing. But here in the white box I need to detailed design documents, I can go for white box testing. Yes. So overall everything is happened, then only I can go with the white box testing. And also I have given the content which who is going to do the black box testing and who is going to do the white box testing. Means software tester can do the black box testing, but the developer is having a knowledge of to perform the white box testing. Yes, that is all we had with us. And rightly we had seen some basic concepts of what types of black box testing were. Only just make only having an idea of it, We had black box testing types like this: functional, non-functional, and regression, while the white box having the path, loop, and condition testing. Okay, now the next part of our testing is the object-oriented testing. Already we had gone through in the second chapter also what is object-oriented functioning designing part. So similarly, there is also some concepts of designing. Here are also some concepts of designing, but we had basic loops, again basic concepts of what my software designing have. Just wait a minute. I have some content over here to get it back in. Just wait. Okay. Now the object oriented software testing method. So these are some basic methods which we had with us, and also some methods we used to do perform some basic rules, basic content over here. The object-oriented software testing continuously developed during the software development life cycle. Means this testing type is always continuously during goes through all your software development life cycle. And in object-oriented system, testing encompasses three levels. Here, three levels are mandatory. So first one is your unit testing, second is subsystem testing, and third one is the system testing. Yes, it is there is a difference between subsystem and system. So unit testing individually tested. Unit testing is nothing but you can individually test the content. And already I have here given that in unit testing the individual classes are tested. Individual classes are tested, while the unit testing is also responsible for your application engineer who is going to implement this structure. So whatever we had in our unit testing, we are going with the unit one, unit wise. It's a small content I'm going to check, or small uh, classes I'm going to test. This is my unit testing. While in subsystem testing, yes, in subsystem testing, it involves a testing of a particular module. It involves a testing of a particular module, or a subsystem is responsibility of the subsystem lead. It is responsible, but it already used to test the particular module or a subsystem. It's a particular small part. It going to be content. It going to be test, as well as it is also used as a regression testing type, because whatever we had in regression testing मध्ये काय की स्मॉल कंटेंट जे आहेत, जर सपोज मी ओल्ड काहीतरी सॉफ्टवेअर यूज करत असेल आणि त्याच्यात जो कोड आहे तो तसंच ठेवणार मी, बट त्याच्यात काहीतरी न्यूली ऍड करणार विदाउट डिस्टर्बिंग द ओल्ड वन, दॅट इज नथिंग बट माय रिग्रेशन, अँड दॅट इज नथिंग बट आय एम युझिंग अ सब सिस्टम. मीन्स तो पार्ट पण यूज करते मी, जो ओल्ड व्हर्जन आहे तो पण पार्ट यूज करते विथ अ न्यू पार्ट. So that is nothing but subsystem is nothing but I am using a particular, I am going to test a particular involving that particular module or subsystem in my original testing. Yes, so this is my subsystem testing. And the last one, that is a system testing. It involves much more content. So I have given here a diagram over where it is showing me some content, that is a regression testing quality assurance part. And already it has been given that if I'm going to do the system testing, it involves testing the system as a whole. Yes, system testing is nothing but it is completely contain all the content which and is responsibility of the quality assurance team. So what the quality assurance teams need or it has, the team often uses system tests as a regression test when assembling new releases. Yes, when assembling, I'm going to assemble the new contents. I'm going to release the contents with this part. And one more thing, when I'm saying that it is a quality assurance team, when I'm saying that it is a quality assurance team, that time I need to go considered all these four means pillars. What pillars means which pillars? Requirement testing I need to go. Again, analysis testing I need to do. Again, architecture or design testing I need to do. Code testing I need to perform. System testing is including all the parts, and the user testing. So all these quality assurance systems are quality assurance team is responsible for this system testing. No, none other than if you are thinking that here the system testing is including the function testing, installation, operation, stress, support. So it is not only the one part I'm going to do, but the system testing involves all these parts. Where the subsystem testing will involve one content over here. Yeah, and unit testing is going to do testing on module review. Again, testing on the prototype walkthrough. In unit testing, one by one unit is going to be tested. In subsystem, whatever the model view has, I'm going to make it more clear. I'm going to make it more clear with it. Yeah, that is nothing but I'm saying this. The system is going to be collaborate or integrate with all these points, all these pillars. So this is my contents I'm going to deal with. And whenever I'm saying these parts are not having a uh, particular content over here, so that time it is not mandatory. Okay, what contents we need to have with our point of view. So whenever I'm going to say that my contents are again rigorously means making these points more and more comfortable with my product, that time I'm saying that these subsystems are getting more clear. And lastly, the system testing will have a part of defining all these parts, means all these pillars, whatever the six pillars I have just shown you, that all the contents are going to be checked one by one or test one by one. So if I'm saying these techniques are to be developed equally, that time I can use some basic techniques also. तो बेसिक टेक्निक्स कोणते कोणते आहेत ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड टेस्टिंग मेथडच्या, तर त्याच्यात बरेच मेथड्स आहेत. म्हणजे जसे ग्रे बॉक्स टेस्टिंग आय कॅन से. ग्रे बॉक्स टेस्टिंग काय की जस्ट आय हॅव गिवन अ सिंपल क्लियर आयडिया what on, then that time you can get the idea of what is the actual techniques we are using. So what contents we had with our object oriented, so it is a gray box testing. So gray box testing will show us some different phases of my testing on object oriented program. What may they have? So they may have a state model based testing, maybe have a use case testing, or it may a class diagram based testing, again a sequence diagram based testing. So all this type of testing I have with my object oriented testing techniques. And when I'm saying that the techniques for subsystem, जर मी म्हणलं की सबसिस्टम टेस्टिंगच्या टेक्निक्स काय असतील, तर कोणत्या टेक्निकवर ते काम करतात. आता टेस्टिंग तर आहे, पण कोणती टेक्निक यूज करून करतात. सो सबसिस्टिंग मध्ये कसं की थ्रेड बेस्ड करतात किंवा युज्ड बेस्ड. तो थ्रेड बेस्ड काय, तर ऑल द क्लासेस which we needed are to be released a single use case. And in used based, when I'm saying used based testing is going to be performed, that time the interfaces and services are to be module. That time I need to go with these techniques. So there are some various techniques we had. Again in system techniques, in the last previous session also we had gone what is the system technique we had. So system technique alpha and beta testing use karte. Alpha kai use karte, alpha, when I am saying alpha testing is going to be done, that time it is carried out by testing team within the organization. And beta testing, if I'm saying, it is carried out by the selected group of cooperating customers. Yeah, it is carried out by selected group of the cooperating customers. So this is nothing but I'm saying that system testing will have these techniques with them. Where my unit testing will don't have any basic different variation, but we had the unit testing separately in our system. The object oriented software testing method will deal with all this content. तो याच्यात कोणते कोणते ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड टेस्टिंग मध्ये तीन मेन पार्ट आहेत, तीन लेवल आहेत. तर पहिली आहे युनिट टेस्टिंग, दुसरी आहे सबसिस्टम टेस्टिंग आणि तिसरी आहे सिस्टम टेस्टिंग. तर युनिट टेस्टिंग मध्ये आपण काय करतो, अ पर्टिक्युलर युनिट इज टेकन अँड इट इज टेस्टेड. येस. देन इन सबसिस्टम whatever we had with original, I am just making it using that content also. Means माझे जुने जे काही कंटेंट असतील किंवा प्रोडक्ट मध्ये जे काही कोड असेल तो यूज करणार मी ऍज अ मॉड्यूल. अँड अगेन इफ आय वॉन्ट समथिंग न्यू इन दॅट, तो मी माझा जो कोड नवीन कोड आहे तो त्यात इनपुट देणार. आणि तू टेस्ट करणार. दॅट इज नथिंग बट आय एम युजिंग सब पार्ट ऑफ सम कंटेंट. अँड इन सिस्टम टेस्टिंग काय की ओव्हरऑल सगळंच टेस्ट केलं जातं, ओव्हरऑल सगळंच टेस्ट केलं जातं विथ द हेल्प ऑफ क्वालिटी अश्युरन्स टीम. Then quality assurance teams is including all these 6 parts. Means requirement testing is also going to be done there. Again, your what we can have analysis testing. Then again, architecture or design testing is also going to be there. Then code testing is also going to be happen. System testing is also going to be happen, and user testing is also going to happen. So all these parts we had with us, and we are going to do with it. तो या टेस्टिंग पार्ट मध्ये हे ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड डिझायनिंग टेस्टिंग मेथड्स मध्ये हे कंटेंट्स आर व्हेरिएशन and having different formation with it. So whenever we had all these things, we used to say that it is not confirmed or it is not having that much variations in them. But when I'm using to say these system testings are going to be done, it is not mandatory which testing part you are going to use. Clear? Now the next point here, it is a functional testing. So functional testing is nothing but I have described here in the PPT itself more, so that you also can able to read all this content. So functional testing is a type of software testing that validates the software system against the functional testing requirement or specification. So the main purpose of functional testing is to test each function of the software application by providing appropriate input, verifying the output against the functional requirement. Yes, you need to main point काय functional testing चा, you are going to test something, you are going to do testing on something that is on software that validates your software system against the functional requirement or specification. Means you have to go with against whatever the functional requirement and again content or the specification you have, you need to go with it. And you have to provide all the contents. Means by providing appropriate input, verifying the output, it is mandatory for the functional testing. And if you are checking with it functionally, it is involved in the black box testing, and it is not concerned about the source code of the application. Yes, I am not having any idea of what is the source of my contents, whatever the contents are there in my testing or in my software. So I'm not going to check all that parts in my functional testing. When I'm providing this testing, what contents I need to get checked? I'm going to check user interface, again the database, APIs, again security or client server communication, and other functionality. Means all these functionals application under the test is going to be tested, and it is also done. The main goal of this testing is to check whether your content, your system is automatically or functionally perfect or not. So this is the main reason of your functional testing. And prime, it already mostly I have say 4 major objectives, or you can call it as a prime objective of your functional testing. So there are 4 prime objective of the functional testing. First one is the mainline function, second is basic usability, third is accessibility, and fourth one is the error condition. So if it is not visible, I will make it clear. Wait, just wait. So what is actually the mainline function? The mainline function is nothing but I have testing the main functions of an application. Then what is the basic usability? So basic usability is basic usability testing involves of the system. It checks whether the user can freely navigate through the screens without any difficulty. So this is my functionality, means function testing. Accessibility checks the accessibility of the system for the user, and error condition is nothing but the usage of testing technique to check for error condition. It checks whether the suitable errors are getting message are displaying or not. Means suppose I want to open my mail, but I have not means the data is not get opened, means data is not on, and still I am going to open that mail. So mail should get pop up with that your net connection is not, means not happening, or you had not sufficient, whatever the message content it should have displayed. Means a pop-up message should be displayed on the screen, whether you are going wrong on making that application to be operated. So like this function should be operated. The functions टेस्टिंग चं काम काय आहे की हे सगळे बेसिक कन्सेप्ट क्लिअर करायचे आपल्या ऍप्लिकेशन मध्ये किंवा ऍप मध्ये. सपोज आय वॉन्ट टू ओपन द व्हॉट्सअप, तर व्हॉट्सअप ओपन करायला मला नेट लागतं, आणि जर मी नेटच ऑन नाही केलं तर इट विल नॉट गेट ऑपरेटेड. इट विल शो यू दॅट युअर नेट connectivity is missing, or you need to network connection is lost. Like that, this type of message it is going to be shown. So similarly, this is nothing but I have the function testing's basic prime objectives that is going to be tested on any software or any other software system. Yes, so this way we are having some basic concept of my software testing. Okay, so whenever we used to have function testing, I need to go through it. Okay, now next part of my functional testing is how I'm going to perform this functional testing. How I'm going to perform this functional testing. So what are the basic concepts we had with us? How it is going to be look like and how it will going to be performed. So there are some steps I have given here. The first step is understand the software system requirement. Now basic role, you have to first of all understand, then you have to identify the test input, that is data, on which you have to perform the testing. Then third one is you have to compute the expected outcome with the selected test input value. You have to, first of all, you need to know what outcome you are going to be given or going to be received. So yeah, it should be an in a selected input value should be expected, should be given, or you have to keep it with. Then third one is the execute test cases. That is fourth, execute test cases and compare what is the actual and computed expected results are. Means whatever you had decided and whatever the actual result you had means getting, is it similar or not, that is to be tested. Here the given diagram will show you the content. First of all, means this part I have just for our understanding I have given here. The first one is that identify the test input, so that you have to just get idea with whatever you have with your content. Then you have to first analyze yourself what will going to become and what may the result be and what you expected to the result be. Then you have to execute all the test cases what you have, and lastly you can compare both that actual and computed one, and so that you get the result, final result. This is how I'm going to perform the functional testing. Yes, next part, we which types of tools we need to use while using the functional testing. So there are some tools we are using right now. This only we had with us, but many of the changes had happened. But these are mandatory tools, and we still you are using in the professional market, or you can say in your IT professional market, IT professional areas. They are always using these types of tools. The first one, Selenium. It is very popular open source functional testing tool. It is already available. You can also get downloaded from the Google, and you can check your code also, or you can check your product, whatever the software application if you have or you have built, small one. I'm not saying any other thing, but if you are creating a calculator, or if you are making a calculator application, that time you can check this with this help of Selenium whether it is working or not. Then next is the QTP. It is already named as a quality type protocol process we are using. So very user friendly functional testing tool by HP. Then JUnit. JUnit is mandatory, and it is a Java unit. Java application we are using with the testing, unit testing we are performing. JUnit हे अँड्रॉइड ऍप्लिकेशन मध्ये पण मॅन्डेटरी आहे. अँड्रॉइड ऍप्लिकेशन जर मी डेव्हलप करत असेल, that time I'm saying that JUnit is a having a very main role in order to play all this functional. Okay, so all these content are mandatory for our applications, which are going to be deal with their content. And also I'm saying that JUnit plays a vital role in your basic uh, Android application. Again, when you are saying a cross platform application, that type you are using this type of tool, JUnit. Okay. Now the SOAP UI, it is also an open source functional testing tool, and mainly used for, it is all used for web service testing. It supports multiple protocols such as HTTP, SOAP, and JDBC. So all these platform, we are using different testing tools. And one more, what is that is this is a functional testing tool for web application. We had not used it yet the last one, but the first four is very means very user friendly, and it is having the uh, open sourcely, we can download the content and also available with the market. But the last one, it is also having a user friendly connection, but it is mandatory with, and it is used with your Ruby scripting language. So it is mandatory that if it is having a Ruby scripting type of language, you can use that testing tool. Yes. So these are some functional testing tools we had with us. And if you want to check, you can go and Google it for your reference. Clear? Now the second, third part of the functional testing is just I have given an difference between the functional and non-functional testing. So what is the functional testing and what is the non-functional testing? Is it visible to all with means functioning and all? May I, anybody can reply, please, so that I can start the content. Anyone can reply? Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay, ठीक है. Then functional testing and non-functional testing. तो functional testing काय perform करतं की तुम्ही जे काय provide करणार client and all this content. Functionally, if it is working, I am performing the functional testing, and it is against your requirement specification. But non-functional testing will have test all the reliability, scalability, non-functional programmation, again performance. All these contents are checked with your non-functional functionality and testing. Whether if it is executed, the functional testing is executed the first, because it is not going to check your performance, or it is not checking your reliability. It is checking only the content what you have with you, and you only the specification given by given to you. And but in non-functionality, it should be performed after functional testing. Functional testing च्या नंतरच तुमचं non-functional testing चालू होणार आहे. Again, here manual testing or automation testings can be used. Here in the functional testing, manual testing or automation tools we have to use, while here using tools will be effective for this testing. Means if you are using the tools, then it is not means very effective for checking your reliability, scalability, and performance. Again, business requirements are in the inputs to their functional testing are mandatory, while here performance parameters are like speed, scalability, or input to the non-functionality testing are mandatory. In here describe the product, what the product does. Here describe how the product good works. Here in the functional testing, what the product does is just going to be shown. But in non-functionality, how good the product will work is going to be checked. Then in functional testing, just I gone through easy to manual testing, but here manual testing is very somewhat tough. Again, examples I have given for testing, that unit testing, smoke testing, sanit testing, integration testing, white box, black box, user acceptance testing, regression testing. These are some functional testing examples. While in the non-functional, there is a load testing, volume testing, stress, security, installation, penetration, compatibility, migration testing. This is somewhat of the example of the non-functional testing. So non-functional will test your performance, which is tough to measure. मी म्हणजे एक्झाम्पल कसं देऊ शकते की फंक्शनल टेस्टिंग इज नथिंग बट वॉट एव्हर यू हॅड विथ यू इन युअर माइंड, इट इज जस्ट विदिन यू. आय कांट जज. म्हणजे मी कुणाला जज करू शकत नाही की कुणाला किती येते. बट when I am going to test it, means non-functionally, if I am taking the ISC, if I am taking the if I am going to take any test, that time I know ki ha baba yachi testing means mind whatever the in your mind I can't test, but after taking the test, that is your performance reliability, whatever your scalable, what is the range of your IQ, that can I measure, but by taking the test. But in the functional testing, only the specification whatever we had is you are present, only that is mandatory for me. But in non-functional testing, that is your presence is not mandatory, but what is your output you are going to give is mandatory. So that is nothing but I have a non-functional testing on you. तो फंक्शनल टेस्टिंग काय प्रोव्हाइड करतं की तुम्ही फंक्शनल स्पेसिफिकेशन जे काय प्रोव्हाइड केलेले आहेत क्लायंट्सला, and well whether it is getting verified or not, it is only the work of your functional testing. But in non-functional testing, it will check with the help of functional testing, it is going to be check its requirement specification, but with that it is again additionally checking your performance, again its reliability, scalability and other non-functional units aspects. So it is somewhat tough as considered with your functional testing, it is tough. So I can't say that whether I can measure the functional testing, but it is very difficult to make a testing over the non-functional testing. And still there are some examples of the testing, or the you can say the types of the testing in the non-functional. So they are having a testing like load testing, volume testing, stress testing, security, installation testing, whether the system is properly responding to that software or not. So all these content are in your non-functional, while in the functional testing, it is not chicken, it is directly given in a programming way. Like unit testing I can perform, again smoke testing I can perform, again more thing like sanity testing, white box testing, user acceptance, UAT testing I called it, then regression testing. Then these all things are having some basic rule with some basic content, different contents in us with a functional testing. So overall this is my functional testing. तो एकदा फक्त रिवाइंड करू की व्हॉट माय टेस्टिंग डज. तो मी बघितली की फंक्शनल टेस्टिंग मध्ये बरंचसं काय काम आहे. फंक्शनल टेस्टिंग काय करते की इट व्हॅलिडेट्स युअर सॉफ्टवेअर सिस्टम whatever you have in your functional requirement and specification regarding, and also it will check what you the stitching will have with it. It will check your UI, then it will check your APIs, you will check your database, it will check your security, it will check your client or server communication. So all is mandatory, but there are four prime objectives what I am going to check again. तो प्राइम ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह कोण आहेत की याच्यात या टेस्टिंग मध्ये नेमकं काय चेक केलं जातं बेसिकली, what that content will have or what the mainly concentrate on what content. तर first four basic roles कोणते होते, तर mainline function, basic usability, accessibility and error condition. So mainline function will test the main functions whether it is performing properly or not. Again basic usability will have testing whether it is a user can freely navigate through the server, or sorry, through the screen without any difficulty. This is my usability. And accessibility checks the accessibility, means whether the user can access it not or not. And last, the error conditions, if I am not using it properly, if it wants something other content and still I am operating it, so it should provide some error condition method messages. So this is my prime objective of my functional testing. Then we go through next part, that is how I'm going to perform the functional testing. So functional testing चे 4 steps आहेत. First of all तर एक आहे की for our understanding we need to know the software engineering requirement, what we have in our software engineering requirement. Then we gone through, I need to identify the input, I need to go with the test data. Again, I need to compute the expected outcome, whatever we had. Yes, compute the expected output, whatever we are going to be get, and keep as it is. Then execute the test cases from each the content or whatever the input you have. You just make that execution over there and compare whatever the actual result you got after testing, whatever the content you got, you have to check with your computed or whatever the expected outcome you got with that. So that is nothing but it is variation in your actual process. So या functional testing मध्ये हे तुम्हाला चेक करायचं, ते 4 mandatory content. First of all, test the input, then calculate whatever the expected outcome you have, you need to get, means you need to assume, then you have to execute the content whatever the you have, the test inputs you have, then compare the expected outcome you have and actual what it had given to you. So हे चार प्रोसेस झाल्यानंतर तुम्ही परफॉर्म करू शकता. तर फंक्शनल टेस्टिंग मध्ये बऱ्याच वेळा असं होतं की तुम्ही बेसिक रोल तुमचा नसतो, बिकॉज इट इज ॲज अ ब्लॅक बॉक्स टेस्ट, यू डोंट नो व्हॉट इज गोइंग टू बी हॅपन. तो सिमिलरली फक्त एवढंच लक्षात ठेवायचं की फंक्शनल टेस्टिंग ज्यावेळेस मी करणार आहे त्यावेळेस फक्त आणि फक्त मला एक फंक्शनली ऑपरेट होतंय का नाही एवढंच चेक करायचं. अँड देन वी हॅड गॉन थ्रू फंक्शनल टेस्टिंग टूल्स. तो या टूल्स हे जे फ्रीली अवेलेबल आहेत, ओपन सोर्स आहेत, तर हे टूल्स आपल्याला डायरेक्टली तुम्ही गुगल पण करू शकता आणि त्याच्यावर बघू पण शकता की हाऊ दे आर वर्किंग. You need to just get it installed and you need to get check your application or software or whatever you have with you, so it directly show you the testing results. So some testing results are having variation in their using, कारण काही टेस्टिंग टूल्स जावा ऍप्लिकेशन ओरिएंटेड आहेत, काही टेस्टिंग टूल वेब ऍप्लिकेशन और वेब सर्व्हिसेस आपण यूज करू शकतो त्याच्यावर, आणि काही आहेत की फक्त वेब ऍप्लिकेशन बाय युजिंग द रुबी स्क्रिप्टिंग लँग्वेज we can use. So similarly, which type of content or code or whatever the software language you had chosen, based on that you can use the testing tools. Okay, this is what I have the functional testing tool with us. Now the next part is unit testing. तो आपण त्याच्यानंतर बघितलं की फंक्शनल टेस्टिंग आणि नॉन फंक्शनल टेस्टिंग फक्त डिफरन्स, इट इज नॉट इन दिस लेवल बट जस्ट फॉर अवर सेक वी हॅड गॉन थ्रू की एक्झाम्पल्स बघितले त्याच्यातले की फंक्शनल टेस्टिंगचे एक्झाम्पल्स कोणते आहेत आणि नॉन फंक्शनलचे कोणते आहेत, फंक्शनल कशावर काम करतं, नॉन फंक्शनल कशावर काम करतं. मग मेजर करायचं असेल, जर मला कॅल्क्युलेट करायचं तर फंक्शनल टेस्टिंग आय कॅन डू मॅन्युअली, बट नॉन फंक्शनल इट इज समवॉट हार्ड टू डू. So this is just an overview for functional testing and non-functional testing. Clear? And just for unit testing, again a separate part of the your object oriented testing method. Object oriented testing method मध्ये आपण युनिट टेस्टिंग बघितलं होतं, लक्षात येते का? बघा, ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड टेस्टिंग मध्ये आपण युनिट टेस्टिंग बघितलं होतं, बट सेपरेटली युनिट टेस्टिंग एक पॉइंट दिलेला आहे. So we have all this content we are going to see. Unit testing, again it is somewhat individually modules are tested to determine. There I called it as a class, you also can call it as a class, or you can repeat the same statement over there just for all, as only the statement can't change be with the language. So you can just understand a unit testing is a testing which individual modules are tested to determine if there are any issues by the developer himself, and it is concerned with functional correctness of a standalone module. And main aim is to isolate each unit of the system to identify, analyze, and fix the defect. Unit testing the main काम काय? You need to isolate each unit of the system to identify, analyze, and fix the defects. So this is all I have with me. So in the unit testing, only the content you need to know, that is I am going to perform a testing on an individual part, and that is going to make it clear with my system to get me appropriate a good software or a product to be in my hand. तर हेच माझं युनिट टेस्टिंग करताना काम आहे. मग त्याचे ऍडव्हान्टेजेस मी सांगितले की रिड्यूस द डिफेक्ट इन द न्यूली डेव्हलप फीचर्स, or reduce the bugs when changing the existing functionality, reduce the cost of testing as defects are captured in early phase, then improve the design and allow better refactoring of the code. Again, unit test when integrated with build gives the quality of the build as well. So you can consider here that is unit testing is very much useful for making my content very much available for me. So this is I have with me, and I can reduce the defect in the newly developed features, or can be reduce the bugs. So this is all with the testing we have. And next part, I have just shown you the testing life cycle, unit testing life cycle, how it goes through. So first of all, I need to make some code. Again, check out the code from the repository. I need to take out the codes. Then if there is some changes, I need to make the changes. I need to then execute the unit tests. Then again fix, if there is any defects, I can fix that and again execute the test. Again code is going to be reviewed, again it is checked into the code into repository, then again that code is checked out. So this cycle is happening again and again. When it is getting fulfilled, that time I can stop. So this is my life cycle. I am taking the code, I am checking that code, particularly taking out, then making changes, then executing. If again there are some problems, then I can making fixing that defect and again executing. Again that code is get reviewed. Again it is kept in the code repository, into the repository, and again it is checked. Again it is taken. If there again the error seems error, if it is not working, again it is taken out, and this simple cycle is going to be moved on in unit testing. So one by one I am taking a small classes. Here I have given that individual module, that is nothing but individual classes I am going to take. I am going to check it, and again if there is changes, I am again making some changes over there, again testing over there, again putting it in the function in that coding repository, and again following the same procedure. So this is overall my system unit testing life cycle goes through. Clear? And last, that is a unit testing technique. तो मी कोणते कोणते टेक्निक यूज करते. So first one is the black box testing. White box, it is interrelated. You are saying that आता तर झालं परत मागे असं का चाललंय. So similarly it is again you means for your means easiness, I am just saying that it is only interrelated part, but in syllabus it is giving somewhat different points, so that's why I need to go again with the same basic backward and forward condition. So म्हणजे मला परत मागे पण जावं लागते पुढे पण यावं लागते, सेम असंच आहे या चॅप्टर मध्ये तसंच दिलेलं आहे. So they are interdependent and very much collaboration with each other. So unit testing technique is again having these three techniques in them: black box, white box, and gray box. So in short, I will say black box is nothing but which the user interface input and output are tested without knowing the tester who is going to be tested, is he is unaware of all these things. White box मध्ये used to test each one of those functions behavior is tested, each and everything is tested here and done by the developer. And gray box is nothing, we used to execute the tests, risk and assessment method. So it is a regression method. The old version also kept with the gray box testing. So this is my testing, unit testing. And the last one I called it as a system testing. So simply system testing is also we had gone through in our ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड सॉफ्टवेअर टेस्टिंग मेथड मध्ये आपण सिस्टम टेस्टिंग बघितलेली आहे. तर सिंपल एक बेसिक एक कंप्लीट टॉपिक दिलेला आहे की व्हॉट इज सिस्टम टेस्टिंग. तो सिस्टम टेस्टिंग we had is a performance, means it is a nothing but it is also black box testing, already I have given you. Again it is a collaboration, means a complete integrated system is should be tested. मीन्स एक एक इंडिव्हिज्युअल आपण आतापर्यंत बघितलं की युनिट मध्ये एक एक घेत होतो, पण सिस्टीम मध्ये सगळेच क्वालिटी अश्युरन्स टीम काम करते, क्वालिटी अश्युरन्स टीम काम करते आणि त्या टीम मध्ये सगळे सिस्टीम परफॉर्म होतात. तर याच्यात बाय एक्झाम्पल बाय द डायग्राम यू कॅन गो मीन्स गेट आयडिया काय काय होतं. तर युनिट टेस्टिंग, इंटिग्रेशन टेस्टिंग अँड सिस्टम टेस्टिंग अँड आफ्टर दॅट सिस्टम ऍक्सेप्टन्स. तर हे असं होतं. पण या हे झाले लेवल्स, तुमचे टेस्टिंगचे लेवल्स झाले. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल युनिट, देन इंटिग्रेशन, then system. Overall quality assurance team will check over all this, and that is after that acceptance testing is going to be happen. But how it is going to be get taken? So you have to first of all set up the environment, then you have to generate the test cases. After generating the test cases, you are performing testing on that. Whatever the content or whatever the test cases you have in that, or whatever the content in the test cases you have, that is input, you are going to test all the performing the testing on over there, then executing the test cases. Okay, after means providing implementing the testing over here, you are executing that. If there is a defect reporting, if there is a defect reporting, you are again making some regression testing. Regression testing is you are changing the old one with new one, old code with new one. log defects means suppose after that is it clear, checking means log defect nigla ka, then again you have to go retest, means again you are going to here, means executing again the test cases again, if there is report defect reporting, then regression, then again log, then again retest. So all this is your system testing is going to be performed in this cycle, but cycle नाही म्हणू शकत मी, but a process, one by one, a step, a process I can go through. So this is my testing phase I have. तो जस्ट इथं मी एक्सप्लेन केलं की काय काय होतं की ज्यावेळेस मी टेस्टिंग एन्व्हायरमेंट सेटअप म्हणते, टेस्टिंग एन्व्हायरमेंट सेटअप म्हणते, तर ते कसं सेट कसं होतं, स्वतः सेट कसं करतो. तो दॅट टाइम इट इज सेट दॅट क्रिएटिंग टेस्ट एन्व्हायरमेंट फॉर बेटर क्वालिटी टेस्टिंग, देन क्रिएट टेस्ट केस म्हणल्यानंतर काय की जनरेट द टेस्ट केस फॉर टेस्टिंग प्रोसेस, क्रिएट टेस्ट डेटा म्हणल्यावर जनरेट द डेटा टू बी टेस्टेड, execute test case after the generation of the data of the test case and the test data, test cases are executed, defect reporting means defects in the systems are detected, regression testing means defects in the systems are detected, if the test is not successful, then again test is performed. So all these operations is going to be performed in this manner. Okay, and lastly, just all these contents or your system testing is performing in this manner. Okay, and lastly, just for your reference, I'm saying that what are the types of system testing they are. Just we had gone through non-functional testing, ज्याला म्हणतो ते system testing मध्ये आहेत बऱ्यापैकी, performance testing, load testing, stress testing and scalability testing. So these all fours are the performance actually the testing part, and after that you can see these testings are also non-functional testing part. तर याच सिस्टीम मध्ये हे थोडे पार्ट्स आहेत आणि हे सिस्टीम टेस्टिंग आपण याच्या आधी पण बघितली होती की इथे जेव्हा मी म्हणलं होतं की क्वालिटी अश्युरन्स ज्यावेळेस आहे, तर इथे मी बघितलं होतं फंक्शनल टेस्टिंग सिस्टम टेस्टिंग मध्ये मी हे कंटेंट पार्ट करते, तर त्याच्यातच माझे परफॉर्मन्स वगैरे कुठे आलं, तर दिस इज नथिंग बट इट इज अ नॉन फंक्शनल पार्ट. नॉन फंक्शनल सिस्टीम मध्ये सिस्टम टेस्टिंग ते पण करणार आहे. मीन्स when you are going to say this testing is not getting performing variation, so that time you can say that the system is performing all this content. So performance testing, load testing, stress testing, scalability testing is one of the part of your system testing when you are going through some test cases. Okay, so we will stop here, and please I'm not going to take the actually attendance right now, but keep your attendance in the chat box fast so that I can close the content, so that it will be get recorded fine. Otherwise, you will have to lose your attendance here. Just keep your attendance in the chat box fast before stopping the recording.
Ma'am, the message is failing to send.
It is not possible because all are taking means going to take giving their attendance. I think so. What is your roll number? May I know your roll number?
A63, ma'am.
A63.
A63.
Ma'am, same here. My message is also not same.
हेलो मैम, हेलो मैम, मैसेज सेंड होत नाहीये.
Yes.
B27.
Yes. Yes.
हेलो मैम,
Message
B27.
हो
send
मॅम.
होत नाहीये. एक मिनिट हा. Just wait.
थँक यू मैम.
असं कसं काय होत नाही? Wait. Just don't leave. Tell me what is your roll number?
A45.
A63.
A63, ma'am.
Wait.
A45.
Then A
45.
45. Huh. Next.
A41.
Anybody? A17.
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 7.
And from B division, it is 27 something, huh? B17 or B27. Who's there that she told me?
B27, ma'am.
B27. Okay.
Thank you,
Means
ma'am.
whose message is not getting sent it to
B15.
me? Please. B.
15.
B15. Okay. Those who are getting problem while sending the message, just they only give me the presentee right now. If you had put the message in the chat box, then it is okay. But who are facing problem with the sending the message, only they can give me the attendance right like this. Otherwise, it is okay. Okay, anybody? No one? Shall I conclude the content? And I will stop the recording. Huh? So just please leave message fast so that I can close the recording and the message will be saved.